Yeah, Governor, thank you for being here with us today, because I think, this water issue is certainly on everybody's mind. It's no secret that it was a wake-up call for everyone when the Department of Water Resources put out a curtailment order for 695,000 acres approximately in this region, which would have, if they had obeyed the order, would have turned this entire region totally upside down, let alone put them in a situation of not being able to make good on their bank loans this year. It would have been a disaster. The question that I've got is, and we've talked about the negotiations going on, I think and you've seen a lot of people drove their tractors to the meeting today, and not that they usually don't take their tractors to town. They did that out of the ordinary because they wanted to show some unity and the deep concern that they have for what is happening, what just happened in one of the better water years in this decade. The formulas that were changed on them after the 2015 agreements. And we're back to the table with those same parties today. You mentioned the gun to the head. There's only one side of these negotiations that has a gun to the head, and the other side is holding the gun. And that's the elephant in the room that apparently no one wants to talk about, or no one wants the region to understand. And I just wanted to know, you said it's better these farmers work it out, but I think the concern is one of these groups is on their knees with a gun to their head, and the other side's holding the gun. How do you figure that that's going to turn out when they have nothing to give other than, when do we close down our farms? That's what's under negotiations at this point. How many farms do we close? How many acres do we close? We have to answer the question, to do what? To raise the aquifer, to hold it steady? We've got to settle that goal first. But how do you reckon that this is going to turn out better than the 2015 deal, which had got us in this situation in the first place, when it's the same people negotiating at the table, except one side is a much larger disadvantage today than they were then. How's that going to turn out better for anybody, including this region, which is, this is not just between farmers. This affects the entire economy of everyone in this area. And how do you give us hope? And then the other question is, at what point do you take a leadership position and say we're going to resolve some of these things that these farmers can't resolve? They can't resolve some of the other things on the table that the laws that are put in place are putting them in. So how do you figure it's going to come out different this time?
Well, Frank, we have to live in this country, for better or worse, under the laws and the Constitution that we have. And in fact, the change, part of the change was ordered by the Supreme Court. The department director he got an order from the Idaho Supreme Court. But as Matt wrote in that letter that he sent out, the 2015 agreement has not aged well. The model, averaging, what level do you have the aquifer? Those are the things that are being discussed. But you have prior appropriation farmers that are irrigating, I bet within 10 miles of where we're sitting right now, that have old water rights. Nobody advocates that we take their water right. The question is, where is that line? We have been at this stage in negotiations multiple times over my lifetime. This one, and part of it was the way the agreement was written, was that whole districts would be basically assigned, and the unfair part of it that needs to be addressed is you've got the farmers that are doing the right thing and agreeing with their commitment, and then you have a few of them that weren't. We have changed that. We have put everybody into a groundwater district. Now we have a mechanism. I am totally confident that we will come to some resolution. Will it make somebody that that has a brand new water right totally whole? I guarantee you it will not. Somebody with a brand new water right. But that happens every day. We curtail water every day in the state of Idaho. In my valley where I live, if you're at the head of the ditch and you want to divert all the water, and somebody at the bottom of the ditch has an older water right, sometimes there's a shovel, sometimes there's a legal argument, but older water rights prevail under the Idaho Constitution and under Idaho law. We cannot turn that upside down. If you turn that upside down, but there's a lot of other things we can do. We can do recharge. We can redefine what's adequate. We can make sure that the people that are aggrieved, that there's either resources or money. That's what happened in Colorado. They just took, the federal government just took a big amount of money and just bought out all this farmland. I don't think we want that here. I know we can get this done. They're making great progress, and they will get it done, and I have great confidence.